how much does a good panel line like Eavy Metal really make a difference to a model? Let's paint something up and find out. So starting off with Warpstone Glow, we're going to put quite a thick panel line, edge highlight. I think I call them panel lines in the first shot. Yeah, so we're starting with quite a thick edge highlight of Warpstone Glow, and I found in previous attempts that not using a thick one means that anything you put over the top of it just goes missing. So yeah, to state the obvious, we're starting with airbrush base coated minis. We're going to, at some point it'll switch over to using suppressors, because I was going to do 6 and then I changed my mind to just do the 3 timescales. Fun. Yeah, so I'm just going around the mini, picking out all edges I can, or as much as possible, any that are visible, and going in with quite a heavy hand to give it the edge. And as you can see, it looks very bright when you paint it fresh, but that does dry and darken quite a lot. And then what we're going to do then is, with all of the edges highlighted, or edge highlighted, we're going to then go back across with Moot Green, and I'm doing Dark Angels, yeah. So Moot Green, and all we're looking to do by here is pick out the prominent edges. And I quite like that little bit of the backpack round bit. Pick it out, make it look good. And this edge highlight, you're looking to properly just catch it with the edge of your brush. And we're only going to do the tops of the prominent surfaces, so that this Moot Green gives it that extra bit of pizzazz, let's say. And then now we're onto the suppressors proper. We're just going to base coat all of the brown with Vallejo brown, and I'm using this just to bring out a bit of variation in the base coat. And now we're going to try and paint camo capes. This is the surprise segment for the video. So what we're going to start with is sponging on Caliban green, yeah, not on, Caliban green, and I've got an old Citadel dry brush which has got a frayed end from dry brushing, and I'm now stippling on Warpstone Glow. And I'm not looking for anything particular here, just trying to keep the camera in focus. I'm just trying to apply a variation of colours across the board. And then in a very select area, I'm going to just put the odd dot of Moot Green, so that ties it into the colour scheme for the main armour. And you can see we're just dashing colours over here. I think this is the grey now. Yeah, so this is grey going on. And these are all colours that are present on the basic material I'm going to use. Then we've got a bit of aerial yellow, I think it is, mixed with bone. Not that one. Avalanche Sunset, sorry, mixed with Screaming Skull, to just desaturate the yellow a little bit. It matches the stonework on the base a bit more. It's neither yellow nor bone, so. And again, just trying to make a spot highlight on the camo. With that done, then nice and easy, get on. We're going to paint the eyes. So I always start with the white of the eyes first. Don't have to be tidy with that then. And what we're doing here, and you can see the I've even slipped with the blue. So I'm using blue for the captain's eyes. Tidy that up after the fact with a bit of white. Then I'm going to dot the black in. Ever so gentle, just a tiny dot. And then, so I'm using Elminiaturista's, I'm not sure who he is. I'll link him below. He put up a photo of his his procedure for painting faces, and he starts from bone. I'm not sure why. It works for me, so I'm not gonna question it. So essentially, this is now Screaming Skull as a base layer. Oh, I think it's dark sand actually. I think I transitioned to using the Vallejo colours. So dark sand, covering all of the skin. There's not a lot of it. And then we're going to go with a mix of, well, I'll let myself finish this bit first so you can keep up with what I'm talking about. I thought it was important to show this in full so you can understand how quickly you can do a face. So this is a mix of Vallejo Blue Violet and Vallejo Red, just to give that a bit of fleshy, skinny tone underneath. And then on top of that, if I can find the colour quickly to tell you what it is. I seem to have lost the colour on my desk. That's great. It's the oh bloody hell, what was that? So it's the skin colour from the 4 paint challenge mixed with a bit of dark sand. And all we're looking to do here is really thin coats of paint. So the thinner the better, and you're just building up and you're trying to get that red to show through ever so slightly. So that the fleshy undertone. And there you go. That's a couple of simple layers. And then I'm going for pure pale, no, I think it's light sand, and I think it is going over the top of this nose, just picking out the brightest of highlights on this face, just to give that a little bit of colour. And I think I'm going to bring it in close to show you in a second. And what we're going to do then is mix a little bit of dark grey, base coat with here, and then the unmixed grey to just edge highlight the front of his fringe. It doesn't need a lot because the face is going to do a lot of the hard work for this model. And there's no sculpting to the back of his hair, which is weird. It's like a bald skull on the back with a fringe. So I've done my best to just draw a couple of lines on the back with a bit of the lighter grey. And then we're on to basing. So very simply, I use PVA glue and a sculpting tool. Just spread it around. And I prefer using a sculpting tool over a brush because I can wipe it clean and it is good to go for another round. Where a brush is a one-time use really for PVA glue, in my eyes. No matter how good you are at cleaning it, it does not work again proper. So all I'm trying to do here is cover all of the base. I've given it a base coat of green, that's not necessary, but it's just a habit from the olden days. So just making sure it touches all of the base where it needs to be flocked. And you can probably see in the background where my practice run, where I tried to be clever and spilt it all over the table. So this is my preferred method to do this. Put the model in the bottom, shake the flock up to separate to give, you know, a good mix of stuff. And then pour it in, and then use the mini to scoop up and cover the base. And what I like to do after that then is to add a mix of 50% IPA and 50% what is it? 50% IPA and 50%. Oh, what is it? Bloody Mod Podge. Yes, 50% IPA, 50% Mod Podge, and that gives a really solid, firm grip on the base material. It's like rock hard. You can't pull it off. I've done it with other things, and I've ruined a couple of bases by not doing the model on it first. So yeah, and then rim the base in brown, and here is the reveal. As always, people, diolch, da boch, a nos da.